Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Moon Your System Masterclass. I want to get a couple of logistics out of the way first. So, does everyone know where the chat is? For me, it's a black bar on the Zoom square, and it says chat. And if you click on the caret to the right of that, it'll open up the chat box. If you can just let me know if you can hear me, that would be fantastic. I just also want to let you know that I may get a little bit emotional. This subject is something that has been a very difficult journey for me. So sometimes when I look back at how far I've come, I get emotional. And sometimes I also slip back to where I was before, and that causes me to get emotional too. Because, this journey is not a linear journey. It's sort of like a spiral, and we go in and out of transformation. And so just bear with me if I do get emotional. I've been practicing, so I hope that I don't, but there is a chance that I will. So I just wanted to let you know that. And then I wanted to ask you, have any of you ever been mooned before? If you have, then you know the shock value of it. It sort of wakes you up and makes you pay attention. And so that's the goal of today's masterclass, is to sort of wake you up to what's going on in your life and make you pay attention, because your body is going to tell you everything that you need to know. But we need to understand how to listen to that and how to make that, put that into action for us. So I have someone waiting in the waiting room. Let me just open that up here. It looks like Lisa is joining us. Hi, Lisa. Nice to see you here. Can you just confirm whether or not you can hear me in the chat box? I just want to make sure that everyone can hear me. So anyways, I'm very excited that you're all here. I will continue on with where I was. Lisa, I was just saying that I may get a little bit emotional because this is not a linear journey. It is a spiral journey. And sometimes when I think back on how far I've come, I get emotional. And sometimes I just slip back into my old ways, and that makes me emotional too. So I've practiced a lot, so hopefully I don't go there, but just in case, I wanted to warn you. And then we were talking about when we get mooned and how there's a shock value to it. And the first thing you probably think is, what the heck was that? And that's my goal here today with this masterclass, is to help you to moon your system and wake up your system so that you can pay attention to your body and what your body's telling you. The name of the masterclass is Mooning Your System because we demand attention. And so this is what's hopefully going to wake us up to that attention, to be able to pay attention and listen to what our body's telling us, learn what our body's telling us, and how to connect with our intuition to really be able to make better decisions and gain confidence. And speaking of confidence, it is one of my big wounds that I still struggle with. I've come a long way, because otherwise I wouldn't be here for you today. But I do still struggle with confidence. And so one of the things that throws me off is having to see myself on camera. So I am just going to shut my camera off through the majority of this. I will try to turn it back on at the end when we get to questions. So I'm going to take a moment to do that. And then I want to make sure that I'm recording, which I am, so that's good. All right, so we're going to get started. I do ask that you hold all of your questions until the end, and I'll answer them all then. And the reason for that is because I don't have anybody here helping me reading the questions, writing the questions down. So it'll just be easier for me to have them all in one place at the end. So if you wouldn't mind, if you have questions, just jotting them down. And then at the end, I'll give you time to type them out, and then we'll go through them all. So I want to just start off with some of the comments from some of our group meetings to kind of give you an idea of what we talk about and what some of our members are saying. So I'm going to put it on a slide that's a recording from different weeks of our weekly group meeting. And then I'll be back to you right after that.
And being present and trying not to think too far ahead in the future or in the past, and just really be present. And honestly, a lot of the tools that you learn along the way kind of teach you to like recognize when you've fallen off and how to get back on. And recognizing it is the biggest piece for me, like just being able to recognize it. And I think the more you do it and the more you're on this journey, the easier it absolutely is.
I think without having this, I would be in really bad shape. I really feel this has helped me a lot.
Like every time I come to this class, I feel so much more positive and re-energized just from, going through the information. And I look forward to the meetings because just talking about things and the energy from, you girls also is like, you feel it when you're on the call, So
I agree. I look forward to it too. And I definitely think that the energy together really helps us to heal, helping us to learn who we are at that deeper level, to help us to go through these lessons and be able to look at the bright side of it. Because when you go through something horrible, you don't think there's a bright side to it. There's no way that there could be a bright side to that. But once you start on this journey, you realize that there have been little lessons that have built you up to be strong enough to get through that. And so there's a reason, you just don't know what.
There's certain things that happen in your life that put you on this journey, at times and with different people. I think you've got a lot of great stuff in here, and it's all super helpful, and it's all stuff you can always look back on and help to like recharge.
You can step outside your comfort zone and heal those inner wounds.
And that's a big one for me. I've had it since I was little.
You got to focus on the now. You can't worry about the future because the worry takes away from the now.
Who's taking care of you?
So I hope that you will start taking care of you first, because in all honesty, when you take care of you first, there's more of you to give to more people. So you're really helping people more by taking care of you first. So hopefully you could all hear that. That's just some of what our members have been saying in our group meetings. The group meetings are really supportive, and they're kind of a key piece to the program that we're offering. And I'll tell you a little bit more at the end. But most of you are likely here because you felt some sort of stress or anxiety or pain in your life, something that's holding you back from being who you want to be or creating the life that you want to live. But what if I could walk you through that pain, anxiety, and stress and put that behind you? What if you could stop those repeat patterns in your life? You know, the ones, the dream guy that keeps turning out to have the same qualities that you're trying to get away from, or the problem coworker, or the problem boss, or the job that you try to love but you secretly loathe. What if you could stop all those crazy stories from repeating over and over in your mind and really just focus on you? What if you could let go of the past and leave that pain behind you and no longer worry about what anyone else thinks? And what if decisions came naturally to you? How many of you would love to be able to get there, to change your lives forever and learn how to start putting you first, to begin taking care of you, the deeper parts of you, and finding happiness along the way? I know everyone's saying yes, even if it's only in their heads right now, but many people are afraid, and that's what's keeping them stuck. That's where I was, and that's why I can help you. For the last 3 years, I've been fortunate enough to be able to help people who feel stuck in their lives to really become unstuck, to find themselves underneath layer after layer of conditioning, to finally understand who they really are so that they can level up their lives and break free from those repeating stories that are holding them back from living a life they love. To be able to listen to their bodies, to be able to help them to use their intuition to make decisions that are more aligned for them, to use their unique energy to help them to understand who they are underneath all that conditioning, to connect with the deeper layers of themselves and to get in alignment with their purpose. These days, I not only show people how to let go of that old life where they felt that they weren't important or worthy, but I show them ways to find out why that happened and how to break free from it using a system that I'm going to share with you today that's going to help you to find your true self and finally live the life that you were designed to live. One full of love and happiness, leaving that chaos and drama life behind you. And trust me, I know how crazy this sounds, but I have seen it myself in quite a few people, and I've also seen it in myself. I created this system after I created it for me and it worked. And then I tested it out on a few friends. And then I tested it out on a few clients. And it's worked time after time after time. So today I'm going to be spending my time showing you how to moon your system and empower you to take your life back, take your power back. I'm going to introduce you to a process that I put together that's going to help you to get to the root cause of why you're feeling like that and what likely brought you here today. The method that I will introduce teaches you all about why certain things have happened in your life, how to stop them from happening again, what lessons you're destined to live out, what your blessings and your purpose are, where you may be acting on autopilot, how to use the same process to manifest a life you love, and so much more. Learn to be confident in yourself and in your decisions, and watch how fast your life changes for the better. In the chat, what is one of your biggest pain points that you'd like to get rid of? And it's really important that you're interactive in this program because that's really what generates the energy, and energy is a key piece to this process. And I'll show you that as we go along. So there are 7 universal laws or principles by which everyone and everything in the universe is governed. And those universal laws are a key component of the process. And I made sure that I put those in there because it's really important that you understand the principles. And there's several of them that are contained throughout our program. But before I can share this with you, there's something that I want you to understand that's really important. There's just a couple of truths. First is that principles apply to all people at all places at all times. So it's really important for me to teach you the principles behind your energy, because if I just came in and did an energy reading for you, it's not going to show you or help you to understand how to apply the principles. It doesn't give you the understanding that you need in order to repeat the outcome that you desire. Because this process that I'm going to show you, it's not a one and done process. This system is repeatable in every area of your life so that you can use it over and over again. And it's not one of those systems that you've been shown before where they teach you a new skill and you only get a little change out of it. This is a repeatable, life-changing process that works on all people at all places and at all times. And it uses your unique energy, giving you the ability to heal your inner wounds and change your life one step at a time. And it's personalized to you because it's all around your unique energy. And we're always growing. So this is a fabulous tool to have in your tool belt. You're going to be able to use it over and over and over again. The second truth that I want to share with you is that energy doesn't lie. So just think back to yourself to some time when you maybe had a gut feeling or an instinctual feeling. They don't usually steer you wrong. If you think back to one of those that you've had, likely it steered you right where you needed to go. So our intuition can show up in so many different ways. Sometimes it's just like a gut instinct or gut feelings, and other times it shows up in more subtle ways. Sometimes it operates in those waves where it just starts to feel like you're missing something. And if you're anything like me, maybe you try to ignore it, maybe refusing to believe that there's anything wrong, because somehow in our heads, it's easier to pretend that there's nothing wrong rather than to just face the truth. But when we don't listen, it gives us a nudge. You know, that thing that happens that causes you to reevaluate life. And those nudges get stronger when we don't listen. And then if we still aren't paying attention or doing anything about it, something then happens that pushes us way outside of our comfort zone. And that's usually things that make it impossible for us to ignore anymore. And it kind of reminds me of like the eagle mom teaching the baby how to fly, and she just pushes the baby out of the nest so that they can learn to fly on their own. And that's kind of what happens to us. We don't have any control. It just sort of happens. And then we have no choice but to either fall and then piece the shattered parts of our hearts back together, or learn to fly. And unfortunately, I was not one of the lucky ones who figured out how to fly on my own. So I spent countless time, energy, and money on trying to find a way to piece my life back together in a way that was going to make me happy. I didn't even know who I was or what I wanted, so I couldn't really figure out how to do that. But what I found was that my heart had to be shattered open in order to let the light in. And it's in that light where I found the answers. Have any of you ever felt that nudge that turned into the push? Unfortunately, I think I've felt it many, many times in my life. So I guess I should probably formally introduce myself. My name is Jody, and I used to be a hot mess. Just a few years ago, I was lost and confused, and every area of my life was falling apart. I hated my job. I didn't know if I wanted to be married anymore. I didn't feel like I fit in anywhere, and I just felt lost. I felt alone. I felt unloved, and frankly, I felt worthless. And I knew I couldn't continue to live like that. So I started a journey of self discovery, which led me to where I am today. Today, I'm a certified and professionally trained quantum human design specialist, an energy healer, and an empowerment coach, as well as the founder of the Holistic Energy Empowerment System. And I'm also the owner of Infinite Soul, which is a spiritual based business that specializes in helping people to get back to being their true selves, who they were meant to be before all of that conditioning and negative self talk got to them. I work with women who are looking to gain confidence in midlife and to find their passion and their purpose. Most of the women I work with don't even begin to know who they are or how to take control back of their lives. And they're worried about what everyone else will think once they do. Their minds are consumed with worries, and those worries are holding them back, and then they just feel stuck. I also work with midlife moms who have spent their entire lives taking care of everyone but themselves. And now that they've realized it, they're struggling to find themselves. They don't know who they are, and they feel lost and alone. I work with women going through more than what they want to bear on their own, and they're looking for a support group to connect with. So I offer a safe space where we can learn about ourselves and connect and get additional support from others who may have already gone through it, or maybe someone who's also going through some of the same things that you are. It's a safe space where we try on different options and different opinions, and we learn as we grow. So I've spent the last 4 years studying how our energy, our unique energy, impacts us, and creating a program that is guaranteed to turn your life around, just like it has mine and several of my clients. Together, we find the root cause of unhappiness, and we help to understand the why and to heal those inner wounds to give you the confidence that you need to go after that dream life that you've always wanted. So imagine going from feeling lost and lonely to living the life that you always dreamed of. I am here to tell you that it's 100% possible. And since you're here, you're halfway there already. The system I'm going to introduce you to guarantees that you can have the life that you always dreamed of, as long as you're honest and true to yourself and willing to do the inner work. Our thoughts are energy, and those thoughts tell us a lot about what we need to heal. And that's where our power lies. But we need to make sure that we're listening to those thoughts. We're paying attention to those. And so that's where mooning your system comes in. But what I want to do is I want to tell you a story about me that I think will help explain how I got here, and maybe some parts of it you might relate to. So I've always kind of felt like I didn't really fit in. like I was the last minute ask or the one that they felt obligated to invite. And I sometimes tried too hard to fit in because I thought that's what I wanted. And then I often felt hurt by those that I was trying to connect with. So that caused me to put up a lot of walls and just to prevent myself from being hurt. And so I just distanced myself further from the connections that I was looking for. And I never understood why. I just kind of figured that it was my shyness getting in the way. So I just kept myself protected and I just backed away from any friendships that I thought might hurt me. Well, in 2020, I lost both of my parents in a matter of 8 months. I felt alone, abandoned, and isolated. And in the midst of it all, I had other family, work, and personal problems all going on, which was kind of distancing me from pretty much everyone. So, in all that aloneness, it gave me the time to look into myself and why I felt the way that I did. And what I found that answered so many of the questions that I had been asking myself was these feelings that I was having were not really who I was. They were only who I was pretending to be. Only I didn't know that I was pretending. You see, I had put up so many walls that I now believed myself to be that shy girl that was the last minute or obligatory invite. And so what that caused is that caused me to treat myself as that girl. And that energy is the vibration that you vibrate at, and that's what you're sending out to other people. And so when we believe ourselves to be something, that's what we become. So really, I had done this to myself. Our subconscious mind believes that what we tell it is what we want. So when we tell it that we're not worthy, we actually cause ourselves to act as if we're not worthy, and that's what causes that same repeat scenario to keep happening in our lives. And that's the law of reflection. That's one of those universal principles. So then I wondered, well, how did I get this way? And on this journey, you'll find that you get led from one thing to the next when you're really working on yourself. So I was led from one thing to another, and it led me to the answers to the questions that I had been asking myself my whole life. Why do I feel this way? Well, what I realized when I started digging this apart was that I feel this way because of the way that I grew up. And I did not grow up in a bad family situation. I had a very good family situation. I was very loved, but certain things happened early on in my life that caused me to feel like I wasn't worthy. And I'll give you a few examples. So my parents were divorced when I was 3 years old. I do not remember my dad living in our family home. The only thing I remember about him living in our family home was, and this is the only memory I have of this, of him being at home, was him pushing me out the bathroom door as he was standing in the mirror bleeding because he had gotten into a car accident. And he was in the bathroom cleaning it up, and I was trying to get in, and he pushed me out the door. That sort of made me feel, as a 3-year-old, we don't have the capacity that we have as an adult to understand all of the dynamics around it. When we're between the time we're 0 and 7, we're like sponges, and we take everything in that is shown around us, and we determine the meaning of that. But we don't have any sense of reasoning until I think age 7. So during this time, we're putting meanings to these things that we don't even have the reasoning for. So we shouldn't be determining meanings, but that's how life and how conditioning works. So when my parents got divorced when I was 3, in my 3-year-old mind, part of me felt like that was my fault, like I wasn't wanted, or that I somehow in some way caused that. And then my dad pushing me out the bathroom door in my 3-year-old mind was he didn't want me. And then my brother, when after they were divorced, my brother went to live there a couple years later, and I was not invited to live. And so at that time I was about 5 or 6. And so in my 5 or 6-year-old brain, I wasn't invited. They must not want me. I used to go every Sunday, but it wasn't every Sunday. Sometimes when he didn't come, it made me feel like I wasn't wanted. And then when he did come, a lot of times we would go to my grandmother's for dinner, or we would go to a movie in Papagino's. That was kind of our thing. And so what I found was that as I started to see how this was unraveling, I realized that these normal everyday situations that I attributed to me actually had nothing to do with me. So my parents' divorce had nothing to do with me, but from the way that my brain operated at 3 years old, it took the meaning on that it was because of me, because he didn't want me. And these meanings build up, and that you have more meanings when you believe this, more things happen that solidify these beliefs, and they add up and they add up and they add up. And this is where some of our blockages come in. My dad pushing me out the bathroom door. That wasn't because he didn't want me to see him that way. It wasn't because he didn't want me. It was because he didn't want me to see him that way. My brother went to live with him because he needed some stricter guidelines. But in my mind, as a 5 or a 6-year-old, he didn't want me. The Sundays that we didn't get to go to dad's were because he had plans, or sometimes he had to work. That it wasn't that he didn't want me. And the Sundays that we went to my grandmother's or to the movies and pizza were likely the days that he was fighting with my stepmother, or something was going on in his life. I don't really know. But I know that it wasn't because he didn't want me. And these are some of the things that I've realized, the meanings that I have given to some of these things that happened earlier in my life, that I've brought into my adulthood, that are really changing my life. And so when we can reflect on our beliefs, it really helps us to change perspectives and open our minds to what other possibilities could there be for these occurrences. And understanding that these were not my fault, and not that they happened because of me, has really helped me to break away from those limiting beliefs that are causing me to have that low self-esteem and to feel unworthy. Because when I operated from that low self-esteem standpoint, that's when I brought more of that back into my life. So the process has really helped me to gain more confidence and forgive myself for those beliefs that I had were not true for so long, because we have believed these things from childhood, and we are never taught to go back and pick them apart. And in this program, that's kind of what we do. We look into the beliefs behind them, and we go back and we pick them apart in our own lives to see if we can come up with another way to frame that belief that is a more empowering way for us. So there's a lot more to this, and it goes several layers deep, but I wanted to just get my point across that this is how we are subconsciously reacting to things in life. And this is a good example of how it played out for me. The law of polarity states that everything has two sides. So if you've been having negative thoughts or beliefs about yourself, it must also be possible that there's also a positive side to that. So this is exactly where I was and how I found my way out. And so this is the process that I use to help you to find your way out. Opening your mind and your heart to different perspectives by using this principle can break you free from that negativity and open you up to a whole new world of possibilities. So I really want you to make a promise to yourself today, but it's really important that if you're not going to commit to this promise, that you don't make it. And I'll tell you why as we go a little bit further. But what I want you to do is I want you to promise yourself that you're going to give yourself the time to at least explore what this is about as a stepping stone on your path to taking your power back. You're here for a reason, and that reason is the exact same reason that I'm here today, and that everyone else, both joining in live and in the replay, are here. And speaking from someone who was standing where you're at not all that long ago, trust me when I tell you that making this promise to yourself is the most powerful and healing thing that you will ever do for yourself, as long as you keep the promise. And so the reason that I say that you must really commit to this is because often when we make promises to ourselves, we tend to falter on those promises first. And it's not our fault. It's how we've been conditioned, and it's how we got into the situation we're in, but it is how we were conditioned. So it's definitely not our fault. But in order to start putting ourselves first, we have to learn to keep those promises to ourselves. that's really the most empowering thing that we can do for ourselves. So this promise that you make to yourself is really the beginning of your transformation. But I'm also going to make you a promise today. I'm going to promise that if you stay until the end and give this time back to yourself, I will give you some really great prizes at the end that are going to help you to start on your journey. And all of the freebies that I'm going to give you are going to give you a glimpse inside of yourself to help you to see what your superpowers are. So I'm also going to be offering a 20% discount to the first 5 people who sign up. And the discount code will be given at the end. And the discount is on any of the products you choose. So even if you choose the most expensive product, then you get 20% off of that. So it's a really good savings. So no one ever taught us that we held so much power. I honestly, this blows my mind that this stuff isn't taught in schools, because I think that it would really help at a young age, and I think it would help prevent bullying. But I don't know about you, but I had no idea that there was even a way to understand what we're feeling, and never mind why, and I definitely didn't know how to find it. But let's face it, when it comes to ourselves, most of us feel guilty for spending time, energy, or money on ourselves. And then when we find out that this is going to change our lives, we get scared and we back off. And I did this a few times myself. All that does is delay the process. And it brings you more of the same of what you're trying to escape from. So you have to give yourself a chance. And so I'm going to teach you how to start paying attention to your energy, to what your body is saying to you. When you get chills in a room in a random moment, or your stomach drops in another moment, or a random thought of someone special, those are all messages. Our energy is a messenger, but most of us don't know how to understand what it's telling us. So this is what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about investing in ourselves to help support our own personal growth. And I think that we all know by now that we miss 100% of the shots that we don't take. So if we don't take the time for ourselves to get to the root of it, nothing is going to change. And our life is going to be the same 3 months, 6 months, a year, even 10 years from now. In order to bring change to our lives, we have to be willing to make changes. The price of doing the same old thing is really much higher than the price of change. And I know that change can be scary, but that scariness is in our energy, and it's going to help to guide us. When we get scared, there's a guidance in there for us. As Henry Ford put it, if you always do what you've always done, you're always going to get what you've always gotten. So it's really time to do something different. And I'm going to show you how mooning your system will help you to shift the focus to yourself. So think about it. Have you ever had something happen that has shocked you? Likely you have. I think we all have. And that's why I wanted to go with the mooning your system, because I know for me, that's been shocking. And it kind of gives you the wake-up call. It makes you pay attention. And so that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to moon our system to shock it into awareness. And if you've ever been mooned, you know the first thought that usually comes to mind is, why would they do that? And it's in that state of mind that we open our minds to other frames of thought. When we shock our system into awareness, it helps us to awaken to our potential and open a window of opportunity to look at things from different perspectives. And then it also seems to catapult our lives into the future, where honestly, possibilities are endless, and where we can reposition ourselves so that we can reclaim our inner power. So the law of attraction states that like attracts like, and when we get to what we focus on, and we get what we focus on. So what better thing to focus on than ourselves? So since the reason that you're likely here is because you want to know how to stop those repeat patterns of pain, stress, and anxiety, what better time than right now to start focusing on you? The law of inspired action teaches us that we must focus our attention on something in order to attract it into our lives. So I hope that you're going to start your journey of self-discovery right now by putting your phone in another room, closing all the tabs on your computer, and really giving this time back to yourself. Be interactive and share your thoughts and feelings. This is what generates the energy, and the energy is where all of this power lies. Giving something your time is not the same as giving something your attention, so I dare you to test out this principle right now. So this is your first chance to see how the law of inspired action works by allowing yourself the time to focus on your own inner journey. And I expect that my piece of the program will be about an hour, maybe a little bit more, and then we'll go over that with questions if anybody has any questions. But just so that you know, it'll be about an hour. So if you're ready to focus on yourself, throw that emoji that means empowered to you in the chat. So what I'm about to talk to you about today has the potential to change your life. You can put those feelings of not being good enough, worthy enough, or loved enough behind you, because you're going to learn who you were meant to be and how to use that power to manifest the life of your dreams. Living that dream life where you feel comfortable in your own skin, happy in your home life, your career, and your social life, with minimal stress or worries in any of your relationships, feeling strongly for who you are and proud of who you've become. Finally, making choices that put you first and show others how they are to value you. Understanding what caused you to become that person and how to unravel it all, and knowing without a shadow of a doubt that you're doing the right thing and that every stumbling block is a gift, a life lesson to help lead you to the next right thing, all while mending pieces of your broken heart along the way. And it's not as scary as it sounds. It doesn't happen all at once. It happens in time. So it's a gradual process that you can kind of watch unfold, and you can see your work in progress. And it also provides you with proof along the way. It's a system that you get to test, and you have the ability to test throughout the whole process. So before we get started, I'd like you to get something to write on and write with. And I want to start with a visualization because I think it's really important to get your mind focused on you. This part is really important. The whole energy around creating the life of your dreams is really around picturing it in your mind first, because everything was created twice, once in someone's mind and then physically. And so it's really important that you participate in this step. But let's take a moment and think about where you are right now and what does your life look like? So take a moment to write down where you are right now and maybe jot down a few of those things that you might want to change. And I'm going to give you a couple minutes to do that. Now, this is going to be recorded, so if I don't give you enough time, you can always go back and change that. But I think it's really important that everyone does this step. But next, I just want you to do a mental picture in your mind of the things that you'd like to change and what you'd like your life to look like. And pick a year, 5 years, 10 years from now. You get to pick, but pick a time frame and then just write down a few of the things that you would like to have in your life, or the way that you'd like your life to change. And so to help with this, I'm going to ask a few questions. So I'd like you to take a moment to just focus on each of these questions and write your answers down. And I'll give you a couple moments after each question. But as I said, this will be recorded. So if you need more time, you can always go back to it. And I do think it's really important to go back to it and get as detailed as you can, because the more detailed you are, the more energy you generate around that. So, what will your life look like once you have made those changes? What would your life look like if you received exactly what you want? And this next one is really important because this is really a high energy generator. And how we feel is really, really important in this process. We need to embody the feelings of the person that we want to be in order to make that happen. And it's all part of aligned action. But picture in your mind, how would it feel to be that person, to have those things that you would love to have? What would you be doing for work? What great things have you manifested into your life? How has that changed your life for the better? Because this energy snowballs and it brings back more of that same energy that you're putting out there. So instead of getting the repeat pattern of the negative things, you're going to get the repeat pattern of the positive things. So, how is that going to change your life for the better? Where do you live and who do you live with? What does your home look like? Is it on a lake, the ocean, the mountains, the forest? Picture that someone special if there is one. Or are you too independent and you don't want to settle down? What does your social life look like? Are you a social butterfly or more of a comfort in your own home kind of person? Great. So now you have a rough sketch of what your new life could look like. And again, I want you to go back and spend more time on that because that's really important it's really the first step in the process of changing our lives. So now I want you to think about what is one baby step that you could take towards that goal. Sometimes the smallest step in the right direction ends up being the biggest step of your life. And creating visions for your life brings the energy around that and it helps you to build excitement. It's the kind of energy that helps us to create momentum around our goals and helps us to start creating and then achieving those goals. So, what's one small step you could take towards that? And I'll give you an example from my life. So, I knew that I didn't want to work in corporate anymore. So, one of the things that I did was I enrolled in the quantum human design specialist course so that I could become a certified human design specialist. I knew that I wanted to move my life more into more of a spiritual direction. And so that was one of the action steps that I took. It wasn't difficult. It was just a matter of going online, finding the right one, signing up. And so that's what I did. Obviously, I had to take many other steps to get to where I am today, but that's just one example of something that I did. We have to practice being that person that we want to be before we can have that lifestyle. And so it's really important to be really clear on what we want. So please make sure to go back and get really detailed about what you want your life to look like. What types of things would you want to remove? What types of things would you want to add? Do you want to change where you live? What would your home look like? Just get as detailed as you possibly can. So many of us feel that we're alone on this journey. I know that that's how I felt. And we go on hiding our true feelings because we're afraid of what other people will think. We feel bad enough, so we don't want to have to worry about what everybody else thinks right now. But the truth is, the only thing that's going to break you free is to face those feelings. And the journey doesn't have to be a lonely one. All of us that are in this masterclass, plus all of the thousands more that are going to watch the replay, we're all here for very similar reasons. Our lives need an overhaul, and we need to make some changes that, in all honesty, may be a bit scary, but let's face it, change is scary. But when you think about it, change is usually scary because we're either worried about what everyone else is going to think, or we're worried about how we're going to feel. We don't want to lose that comfort zone that we've kind of made for ourselves. Those are all forms of fear. And when you look up the definition of fear in Webster's dictionary, it describes it as uneasy feelings that imply anxiety and loss of courage. So we're actually bringing that back into our lives. But since this is what we're trying to break free from, we have to get to the root cause of it. And behind every fear is a belief. And every one of us holds beliefs. Remember, I told you at the beginning, most of our beliefs are created between the times that we're zero, our ages are 0 to 7. But beliefs are really subjective mental points of view. And that means that they may or may not be true. They're choices that we make to believe something to be true. That does not make them fact, but it does create our reality. And that's kind of scary. And so that's why we start with breaking apart our beliefs or understanding where they came from and then being able to dig into them and come up with new meanings. Many of our beliefs are ingrained in us so deep that we aren't even aware of their presence, yet they are literally the guiding forces behind the decisions that we make in our lives every single day. The decisions that we make are what creates our reality. So in order to break free from our reality and those self-sabotaging cycles that that they seem to keep finding us and we're trying to break free of, we have to be willing to look at those beliefs so that we can make different choices. So let's start by looking at the mind and how the mind works. So there's two parts to the mind. There's the conscious mind, and then there's the subconscious mind. The conscious mind is the part of the mind that we're aware of, and that's our day-to-day life. And then there's the subconscious mind, and that takes care of the behind the scenes kind of stuff. It's kind of like the chief of staff. The subconscious makes things happen quickly and efficiently, and it takes the path of least resistance. So the conscious mind is much, much smaller than the subconscious mind, and its job is just to keep you aware in the moment. It doesn't hold memories, and it's very limited in its capacity. It literally just sticks to the current moment. But the subconscious mind is able to hold a lot more information. And its job is to take the pressure off of the conscious mind. So the subconscious mind controls everything from our breathing to our personality and even our lifestyle. Everything that we have experienced in life has gone through our subconscious mind, and our subconscious mind filters it all and works with our conscious mind to help it to make decisions in the moment based on past events. So that causes us to respond to everything based on past events on autopilot pretty much. That means that our conscious mind, the one that operates our day-to-day life, is only responsible for the decisions that we make in 5% of our daily life, which also means that we live at 95% of our lives on autopilot because we live 95% of our lives out of our subconscious mind. And remember, our subconscious mind makes in the moment decisions based on the past. So 95% of our decisions are made from a preset belief and attitude, and we don't even realize that it's happening. And that's where awareness comes in, because it takes over those daily decisions, because it's seen you do it a million times and it's trying to help support your conscious mind. But what it does is it makes its decisions based on how you've always made decisions in the past. It digs back into the archives in a split second and it responds with an answer that matches what you've always done. So it's just repeating more of what you've always done, giving you the same results that you've always gotten. And that's why those situations keep repeating over and over and over, and why you might feel stuck. Your subconscious mind immediately triggers an emotion to push you into action, and without even realizing it, the next experience has been created. And each of those experiences also solidifies a belief. So even when we're not aware of it, we're literally just walking through life on autopilot, and we're missing out on opportunity after opportunity. And just as an example of this, have you ever driven home from work or really anywhere and not remembered the ride? That's kind of an example of how our subconscious mind takes over. It just takes on those easy, or what they think are easy decisions, and makes them in a split second. And this is where it's important for us to be able to practice awareness, which is why we're mooning our system. So we're raised to believe that we're all human, so we should all look, act, and feel a certain way. But in all actuality, each and every one of us is different, completely different, unique, all with a different soul curricula, and all with different, unique, energetic designs that carve out different paths for each of us. We don't all have the same goals, dreams, desires, and paths or lessons. And therefore, we can't all be expected to successfully operate in the same way, yet that's what society teaches us. Of the I think it's about 8 billion people in the world, each and every one of us is different. No two people are exactly the same. In other words, it's okay to be different. It's how we were designed. And every one of us has also been conditioned by societal expectations to become someone that we're not. Life's not a costume or an overcoat where we can just take a one-size-fits-all approach. There's so many intricate details, and each of us has different energies and different lessons to learn, yet we're all told what to do and how to do it by society. And when we do something outside of the norm, society's reaction usually causes us to feel like we did something wrong, which makes us feel uncomfortable. And so we sock that away in our memory to never do that again. It's our protection mechanism, but that protection mechanism changes who we are, and it causes us to lose ourselves. And it happens to all of us in one way or another. No one is immune to this. This conditioning is what makes up our personality. And that's what makes that really difficult, because it really hurts our hearts when we hit our identity. But what I'm telling you is that our identity is really underneath all of that conditioning. It's not the conditioning is not part of who we are. Well, at least it doesn't have to be. We get to be the ones that make the choice of who we want to be. And we have the power to change that. There's power in our thoughts, and really more power than we even realized. The more we think about things, the more power we bring to that creation. And that's why a little bit ago I had you use your imagination and bring to mind what you'd like your life to look like, because there's more power behind in the energy when we are creating things, and we start the creative process in our minds. So just like a seed that's planted in the ground that grows into beautiful flowers, these are the seeds that we plant in our subconscious mind, and it's from those seeds that we create. So the power is in changing those subconscious thoughts. So if you think about it, when we follow the same routine every day, thinking the same thoughts and performing the same actions, we're really producing the same emotions, which are producing the same results. So if we start thinking different thoughts and taking baby steps towards our goals, as you start to see things shift, you're going to have different emotions, and you're going to start to see different results. And you get to be in charge of that and decide what it is you'd like to manifest. And then The best part is you get to test it along the way to see, does this feel good for me? And you're going to understand your energy enough to be able to understand in your body whether or not that feels good. So you hold the power pretty much. Many of us believe that the solution to what's causing us to be miserable is outside of us, and that by removing someone or something, that it's going to help us to move on. And the solution, and sometimes that is the case, but it's not always the case. And always there, we own a piece of that. The solution to what's bottled up inside of us is not going to come from outside of us, yet that's where most of us go on our journey. Have any of you ever scoured the house looking for your glasses or your keys, retracing all your steps and going back over every room that you've been in, only to find that the glasses are on your head or the keys are in your hand the whole time? That's what we do when we try to find answers. We look everywhere outside of us, but the answers to our own lives can only be found within our own hearts. And most of us don't take the time to go within and do a search. And some of the coaches that I had have said that our subconscious thinks that it's somehow easier if it's someone else's fault. And while that may be true, I think it's more that we don't know how to go within. And I say that because that was me. I was always looking to find a reason by analyzing the scenario and going over and trying to figure out what everyone else was thinking and why I felt misunderstood. I had no idea that I had those powers within me, never mind how to use them or find them. But using a few different aspects of energy healing, I was able to put together a way that I was able to dig into the trenches of our lives to find a way for each of us to truly find ourselves and to feel validated for the way that we felt in the past, because we found the answers to the whys that we've been asking our whole lives. And when I first started this journey, I was scared. I didn't fully trust it, but I took the leap of faith because what choice did I have? I wasn't getting anywhere the way I was operating. So I took the leap of faith and I tested it. And I tested it every step of the way because I didn't trust it. And it hasn't failed me yet. And it hasn't failed any of my clients yet either. So if I could give you one tip out of this entire workshop, it would be this. Our brains don't know the difference between real and imagined. Our brain believes that what we think about and who we are being is what we want. And this is, again, why that promise at the beginning that we made to ourselves is so important. Because if you can't keep a promise to yourself, how can you keep a promise to anyone else? And I want to repeat this because I think that these two sentences are really powerful. And I think that this is the key to understanding this process. Our brains don't know the difference between real and imagined. Our brain believes that what we think about and who we are being is what we want. And so there's a lot in those two sentences. So please take your time and digest that. But that right there is the key to manifestation. Imagination is critical to this process. And that's why we did the visual at the beginning, to help you to generate energy around what's possible for you. So basically what this is saying is that when you use your imagination and create that life that you want, it's going to open up opportunities for you to be able to see things in different ways. And when you start taking those baby steps towards creating that life, it's going to start showing your subconscious mind, ooh, wait a minute, we're going to do something different. And so it's going to allow you to make these small little tweaks and changes in your life, which is what's going to create the changes in your everyday life. One of the things that I learned from my corporate days is that you have to get to the root cause if you want to eliminate the problem. And since our lives are a reflection of our thoughts, it really makes sense to start there. Thoughts are generated by the firing of neurons and the transmission of synapses. And while that all sounds complicated, it all boils down to all thoughts are energy. And there's energy all around us. Our thoughts are energy, our words are energy, our actions are energy. We are made up of 99.999% energy. Our story gets created from our energy. So energy plays a key role in who we are and the life that we want to create. The power of change is within each of us in the form of energy. Energy controls everything, including our health. And that's why everything that we've tried before, nothing's helped. I tried therapy, I tried meds, I tried other alternative coping mechanisms, and none of those were working because none of those addressed my core energy or my core belief systems. Because we are not all the same. We've all had different experiences, we all have different energies, and how those two mix together in our lives is really what creates our experiences. So when you start to look within and address the meanings that you've given to your beliefs, you start to change your story. And when you change your story, you change your life. And the best part is you get to pick the story. So there's so many ways in which our energy shows up for us. It's constantly talking to us. Its job is to help guide us through life, but we're not told that we even have it or how to use it. But this process that I'm going to show you is going to lead you through it. It's going to teach you what it is and how to use it for you. It's personalized to your unique energy. Each of us has our own unique design, and there are no two humans that are ever going to live out their design the same way. Yet we live in that society where we're conditioned to all live life the same way and follow the same standards. And some of that makes no sense at all, yet here we are living that way because society told us to do that. So it's no wonder we're confused with who we are on the inside. We are the ones who need to make the change because if we don't change, nothing will change. The role that we've filled up till now in our life is changing, and so too do we need to change. And the way we need to do this is by understanding who we are at that energetic level, who we really are on the inside. And we do this by looking at and studying our energy. How does it show up? Where do you feel it? How does it feel? What lesson could it trying to show you? What lesson is it trying to show you? Energy is literally the most powerful thing in our lives, and so few people understand its messages. It's the key to unlocking our secrets, and it's backed up by Nikola Tesla, who was a genius before his time. Albert Einstein, who was known as one of the most influential scientists of all time. And it's also backed up by quantum physics, which is the scientific study of matter and energy in the smallest of scales. Nikola Tesla said, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. That's exactly what we're dealing with in this program. Tesla said that if you want to call something into your life, you must do that through matching its vibration. What I'm going to teach you is going to help you to learn how to change your own vibration. The law of vibration states everything in the universe is in a constant state of movement, and all matter, thoughts, and feelings have a vibrational frequency. That dates back to ancient civilizations and has been used to explain everything from energy healing to the law of attraction. Albert Einstein said, everything is energy. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you can't help but get that reality. Quantum physics studies the behavior of matter and energy at the smallest scale and scientifically proves that energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It can only change form. It changes vibration, and that everything is made up of energy. So it only makes sense if we want to make changes, we need to focus on our energy. Holding on to negative energy also has a far bigger impact on our lives than we realized. When we don't process that energy properly or process our feelings, that creates internal pressure, and that internal pressure creates thoughts and emotions that match our thoughts, and that adds stress and anxiety to our lives and continually lowers our vibration. Without proper metabolism, it creates stress and anxiety, and it leads to negative self-talk. And when that's not nurtured correctly, it can lead to mental and physical health problems. And I don't know about you, but no one ever taught me that stuff growing up. I always thought that it was normal to have negative self-talk. And I definitely never knew that it could literally make me sick. Energy has to move freely. And when we put up those barriers, And you know the barriers, the walls that we put up to prevent from being hurt. It's those energetic barriers that cause disturbance in the transportation of our energy, and that's what causes disease. See, we have what's called meridians in our body, and those are the channels that direct the flow of energy throughout our body. It's sort of like the circulatory system directs the flow of blood. But when we try to control things, it interrupts that energetic flow of our energy, and that causes us to have blockages and low vibration, and it causes illness. So when we understand what our unique energy is and how to work with it, it helps us to keep that energy flowing at a higher vibration level, to keep the meridians happy, and to keep illness at bay. So it's important that we learn to work with our energy, because energy is the guiding force of our lives. It leads us directly to the areas of our lives where we need to heal. Our energy can explain the patterns that have been repeating in our lives, and it leads us to the core wounds so that we know what to work on. See, each and every one of us was brought here with a different energetic design, and in that energetic design, we can learn what we're here to heal, what lessons we're here for, what our passion, where our passions are, what our life purpose is. It teaches us so many things. It teaches us lessons. It helps us to practice forgiveness and self-love, and it can even promote healing in our mind and our body. And remember, I said energy can't be created or destroyed. It can only be transformed from one form to another, which means you have the power to transform the energy that's guiding your life. So it's really, really powerful and kind of cool that we have control over it. So using your energy to get to the root cause of our feelings really helps us to better understand our energy so that we can learn from it and shift our identity. See, our identity is not who we are, it's who we believe ourselves to be. So this process gives us the power to change our beliefs and become who we want to be. Each of us is born with a unique energetic design that shows us where we have consistent access to energy and where we may borrow it from others. And just like our identity is unique to us, so too is our unique our energetic design. Our energetic design breaks down our unique energy to show the story that we were designed to live out. It's kind of like our own personal map or our own personal GPS. It's the story of who we truly are on the inside. And our unique energy can tell us so much about ourselves, yet we're never taught how to use it. And that's what I'm here to help you with. I studied all things energy and found that when you combine them, you can get a really clear picture of who we are. It's a blueprint of the story of your life. It's a guidance system that leads us to unlock the doors of our unique path. And it shows us where to look and which energies get metabolized where, so that when we pay attention, we can find the lessons in life and use them for catalysts for growth. And most of us have felt this in some way or another, but it goes so much deeper than what we even realize. If any of you have ever walked into a room where you just felt the tension, like you knew there was something going on, but you didn't know what, that's your energy vibrating. That's your energy talking to you. And as you might expect, if you've ever been in that room filled with tension, or even if you just worked with the crabby coworker, it's not just your energy, but you can actually take in that energy and amplify it. And that's why, even if you went to work in a great mood, when you have to work next to Debbie Downer all day, it's draining. They're projecting that energy onto you all day long. But there is a way to recognize that so that you can become aware of it and so that you can prevent it from impacting your life. Each and every one of us was born with our own unique blueprint. Only most of us don't know about it. And most of us have kind of stumbled through life just trying to figure it out, or at the very least, just trying to make it work to get through another day or another crisis. But there is a way to break down your energetic design and show you all of the different pieces of your energy. And on this slide, the body graph that you can see here, this is a snippet of what human design sort of looks like, but everybody has their own energy. And in this program, everybody learns about their own unique energy and learns how to apply it to their own lives. So what if I could walk you over that bridge to a life that you would love to live, a life that where you're in control, that looks like that picture that you envisioned in your mind early in this webinar? What if you could be comfortable with who you are and proud to stand up for what you believe in and confident in the decisions that you make? What would that feel like for you? What would your life look like? How would your world change? Some of those aspects that you thought about at the beginning that you would like to see change. This is a step-by-step process that will walk you through each step of the way to turn your life around. Robin Sharma says that everything is created twice, first in the mind and then in the reality. If you can dream it, you can do it. Well, like we did in the beginning, picture yourself on the other side of that bridge as that self-confident, happy, and content version of you, the one you are proud to have become. And I'm just going to give you a minute to keep that picture in your mind because I want you to know that this is possible for you. Let me walk you step by step across that bridge to that new reality, a reality that you have only been able to dream about in the past, a reality that truly would be a dream come true. You hold that power within you to make these changes in your life, and I'm going to prove it to you by showing you what it is that's blocking you and how to use it differently to learn and grow from it instead of allowing it to keep you stuck in those cycles of pain, anxiety, and stress. I was once where you were or where you are. I was wondering how to get out of it, how to change my life, how to get across that bridge. And it was in my search for those things that I found the answer and pieced together this system based on the universal principles that allowed me to not only see, but believe in my own superpowers. Raising vibrations and bringing more happiness and abundance into our lives. This is when everything changed for me and when it changed for my clients. This system has put me in a unique position and definitely not one that I ever pictured myself being in, but I have the power to help people to heal themselves from the inside out. And I have a passion for sharing it because I know how much it can help to truly know who you are and what you want. I'll walk you through every step of the way and provide a safe space for weekly group meetings with a team of people who provide support like you've never had before. In this meeting, we support each other and we help to keep everyone on track because we all fall off every now and then. And it's part of life. I remember I said at the beginning, this is not a linear process. It's sort of spiral. We all fall off and we're there to help and support each other. This journey doesn't have to be a lonely one. So why not do it together? And I want to tell you a little bit about the group because I'm really passionate about it. And it's really a key piece to the program. And I find that it's the best place to gain support. So when I say support like you've never had before, I mean support like you've never had before. Our group is filled with others who are feeling or have felt just like you, so they totally get it. They know how difficult the journey can be, but they also can show you how it can be overcome and how much it can change lives. We're all in it together, and it is much less lonely when we have someone else who's been there, done that to either guide us or support us through the journey. There's no judgment in this group. We're all there to support each other and guide each other towards working on ourselves, to guide each other to looking at things from different perspectives. We can be our own worst critics and we become our own worst enemy, but in this group, we don't allow that. We work on guiding the thought process towards growth. What did you learn from that energy, as opposed to kicking ourselves for something that probably happened the way that it did in order to teach us a lesson? And the energy of the group is amazing. And just that alone is enough feel-good energy that all of us could use a little dose of every now and then. And we get it every week. Our meetings are on Tuesdays at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. So allow me to introduce you to this life-changing system that puts you back in a position of power, and it changes the trajectory of your life. This is the solution to your problem, and it's a system that we call the Holistic Energy Empowerment System. This is the last program that you will ever need when it comes to discovering yourself and understanding what makes you tick. It's the missing piece to you. It's the missing piece that's going to allow you to live life as you were designed to live. It's your vehicle for freedom and peace. It's the peace in your healing journey that's going to allow you to become the person that you've always dreamed of being, living your dream life. The Holistic Energy Empowerment System is really the miracle that you've been waiting for. The difference between this program and every other program that you've tried is that this program uses your unique individual energy, because we're not all the same and each of us is different and we each have our own energetic design. And even if you have similar energies than other people, they play out differently in different lives. So understanding your entire energy system and how that works together is only going to support you on this journey. The program focuses on you and your unique energy, which allows you to relate what you're learning to your own life so that you can start seeing the patterns. One of the things that I found when I started studying energy is that we live our lives based on our experiences, and we're never taught how to use our unique energy to guide us. And that's really its purpose in our lives. Our energy works for us whether we're aware of it or not. It's what keeps us alive. It's the vibe that people get from us. It's who we are. It's the part of us that we thought we didn't have any control of. But when you know how it was designed and you know how to respond to life, it really lights up differently, and it helps us to become the person that we always dreamed of being. Our energy lays the foundation for what our life becomes. And when we understand our energy, we know how that energy is designed to support us, which allows us to change the beliefs that we created as a child and to start looking at things differently. And that's when our lives start to change. That's the energy that needs to be broken down to get to the root of. What is it? Where does it come from? What does it mean? Why do I feel this way? Why does this keep happening? What should my next step be? All the answers to all the questions that you've probably been asking your whole life. And that's what we help you to do in the empowerment process. The process answers all of those questions, and it teaches you how to grow from what you learn. You learn what to watch for, how to interpret the message based on your own personal energetic design, and how to transcend pain into power to help you to take charge of your life so that you never have to feel less than again. In the Holistic Energy Empowerment System, you'll not only learn about your unique energy and what it says about you, but it's also going to teach you how to read energy for others, which also helps you to navigate your path, create healthy relationships, and help support the growth of the collective as a whole. So if you've related to anything that I've said here today, if you're committed to your own self-growth and you're willing to step outside of your comfort zone and face some pretty tough memories, because part of the process is facing some of our childhood memories. However, I will tell you that it is temporary, but that we must feel it in order to heal it. But if you're ready for that, I will guarantee that I can help you. And if you're anything like me, you've probably had lots of thoughts randomly popping in your head. And some of them are thoughts that you don't like and would like to get away from, but you don't know how. Thoughts like you're not good enough, you don't deserve that, that'll never happen for me. Those are all limiting beliefs that hold you back. What would it feel like to understand what your thoughts mean and to be able to grow from working with them instead of letting them hold you back? Because those limiting beliefs and fears sometimes take over our thoughts. But how would it feel to finally understand what it means and why it's repeated so many times in your life in one way or another? One of the most common comments from my clients is that they feel validated. So my client just said that when she reads the description of her energy, it's like reading her own journal, and it helps her to feel justified for having those thoughts. So she said, I have felt this way for so long, and there it is in black and white. There's such a freedom in knowing that I'm not the only one who has thought or felt this way. And so one of the things that I'll teach you about is your unique human design, which is your unique energy. And in human design, it gives you different descriptions of how different energies interact at the low level, when they're vibrating at the low frequency, when they're vibrating at an average frequency, and that when they're vibrating at a high frequency. And so it helps us to be able to realize that the energy that we have was to help teach us lessons and to help us to grow. And when we realize that, and we can see how that energy it has played out in our lives, and we can relate to it, it makes us feel validated for having the thoughts that we did, because that's exactly how our energy is supposed to work. But it also is exciting because it tells you how to raise your vibration and what that's going to feel like once you do, what that's going to look like. And so it's really kind of exciting. Imagine the freedom that you'll get from that validation that it's normal to feel that way, that it's really part of who you are. And even more freedom comes when you start believing in yourself and making yourself a priority, because at this point, you're going to know that you deserve it. And step by step, one baby step at a time, you become the person that you always dreamed of being, just by following your design and believing in yourself. Our thoughts are energy. So the program is outlined in a way that I'm going to guide you every step of the way. I'll walk you through the principles of why you're having the thoughts you're having, where that energy is coming from, and how to change those thoughts. You'll understand how to pick those thoughts apart to help you to determine if they're in your conditioning field or whether they're part of your energetic design, and how to unravel all of that. And then you take that information and you apply it to your life, and you find the patterns of the thoughts and feelings that you have. And then that allows you to break that down for yourself. Sometimes we get stuck and we need a little help with this. So we do have a weekly support group. And that weekly support group, as I said, is instrumental in helping each other to look at things from different perspectives. We spend a good amount of time helping people through their struggles. And, we all tend to have a perspective that we look at things through. And in this group, we open it up so that we can talk about other people's perspectives and maybe open up our minds to seeing things from a different way, because our perspective is based on our beliefs, and our beliefs, as I said in the beginning, does not always make them true or make them fact. So it's helpful to be able to throw things out there and get other people's opinions. So our energy is designed to help us grow. So the energy that we live with every single day is here for a purpose. And those thoughts are there to help us to find our lessons and look at things from different perspectives. It's how we grow. And by decoding our human design, we're able to unlock the lessons that we're here to learn in this lifetime. And it gives you the cutting edge on understanding life and brings you closer to your soul. So that's what the holistic energy empowerment system teaches you. It's how to read the energy in your own body so that you can use your unique energy to lead you to directly where you need to be, where you need to heal, to unlock your potential. Everything that you have ever wanted is on the other side of fear. And we can help you to push through that fear to get to your dream life, because that fear is also energy. It's beliefs. There's beliefs behind those fears. So just think for a moment about, what would it be like to live life as you always dreamed? If you even had a portion of what you fantasize about, what would it feel like to be that person? How good would it feel to be happy, confident, alive, powerful, comfortable in your own skin? And what would that be worth to you? So I looked at other programs that are similar to this one, although there's not any that are quite the same, because I created this based on several of the different energy studies that I did. So I put a lot of different energetic pieces together, but I looked at some that were similar. And those other programs were selling for upwards of $5,000. And I came across one that was $15,000, which I thought was really expensive. But I wanted to keep it under that, and I wanted to make it affordable because I know when I was going through this, I just needed help and the money wasn't readily available. And being new at this, I don't feel right charging $5,000 or $15,000. So I'm not asking for $15,000. I'm not asking even $5,000, and I'm not even asking for $1,500. I want to keep this affordable because I think it's really important to have the ability to help ourselves and really to take the time to get to know who we are on the inside. And it's one of the reasons that I'm so passionate about this. If I could, I would give this away. But I do have costs associated with running the business. And really my goal is to grow so that I can help more and more people. So I can't give it away for free, but I can make it affordable, and I can promise that the transformation that comes out of this when you put the work in will change your life. And I know that you're worth it. And I'm so confident in this program that I'm going to take some risk on here. I'm offering this at a fraction of the cost of other similar programs, but I'm also going to offer a risk-free option because I am so confident that this program is going to help you to make the changes in your life that I want it to be risk-free for you. So the program has been very generously priced at $1,444. But what if I told you that you could get started today for just $722? That's pretty awesome, isn't it? So the way that I do this is if halfway through the program, you feel as though I followed through on my end of the bargain to help you to understand your unique energy and how to work with it in your daily life, and I've helped you to use it to transform your life, then you would pay me the remaining balance of $722 for that total of $1,444. But if at the end of 6 months, you feel that I have not met my end of the bargain, I will work with you one-on-one for up to 3 hours, which is typically 3 one-hour sessions, but we can work that out if we need to. But I will work with you for up to 3 hours to work one-on-one, side by side with you to dissect your chart to understand your unique energy. And if you still feel that I have not provided the support that you needed, I would ask that you would provide feedback so that I can review and see what I can do to best support you and our community so that you won't be left high and dry and I can continue to make improvements to the program. And then you would also not have to pay me the balance of the $722. So you really have nothing to lose. You get all the information on your unique energy, the benefit of the support in both the Facebook group and in our weekly meeting, and 3 hours of free one-on-one coaching. And that is unheard of in the coaching industry. But I am so confident in this program and in your commitment to yourself that I am willing to put my profit on the line. I am here to support you every step of the way because I believe in you. And I know that this program works. And I know that the possibilities are endless. And I know how fun exploring you can be. So this is a win-win situation and you cannot go wrong. So does that sound fair? Would you be interested in that? And remember that this is your life that you're talking about, and your life is not going to get better by chance. It gets better by change. And you have the power in your hands right now to make this change, and it's guaranteed. So I know it isn't always easy to spend money on ourselves, but this is the program where you learn that you are worth it. So as I said, I wanted to make this affordable for everyone. So, excuse me, there are payment options that are available. If it's easier to pay monthly, we have a monthly option for the program only, and that's $135. And that's the same guarantee. You'd pay for the first 6 months. And at 6 months, if you were not happy, we would meet, you would talk to me about, where you're stuck. We would work one-on-one. And if that still doesn't work, then you would not pay the second 6 months of the fee. And then if I also have a couple other deeper programs where if you wanted to dive deeper into your own personal energy and have more one-on-one time with me to weed through your chart together, I offer a couple of more intimate programs. There is the signature level, which is this one right here. And that is everything that's in the standard. So you're going to get access to the self-guided holistic energy empowerment system. That's 12 months of access for that. You're going to get 12 months of access to the weekly coaching meetings. And those are on Tuesdays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you're going to get 12 months of enrollment in the dedicated Facebook group, because we also have a dedicated Facebook group just for this group. So that if you have a question and it's not a Tuesday or anywhere close to a Tuesday, you could hop in that group, and all of the members in the group are part of that group as well. I will answer you. They may answer you. You may get different perspectives, different opinions. But this option, the signature option, also comes with 6 months of side-by-side chart reading. So this is 12 one-hour Zoom sessions where we explore the energy of your unique chart together. And we will continue to moon your system and dive deeper into your energy to heal the deeper layers. And the cost of the signature program is $2,222. We also have payment options available for that. So you could do 6 payments of $385, or you could pay it in, your down payment of $1,111. And at 3 months, you would pay $1,111. And that's because this is only a 6-month program, although you would get 12 months access to the empowerment program, the coaching meetings, and the Facebook group. It's just 6 months of coaching. And again, the guarantee stands up, only it's at the end of 3 months. If you feel as if I am not holding up my end of the bargain, we will meet. I will do the 3 hours with you one-on-one. And if you still feel that I haven't held up my end of the bargain, you wouldn't pay the balance of the $1,111. And then when you feel that I have provided the service that you are happy with, then you would pay the second $1,111 at that time. Or if you're on the payment plan, your payments would continue for the full 6 months. And then I also offer the platinum level, which is 18 months of the holistic energy empowerment system access, as well as 18 months of access to the coaching programs and the Facebook group. And it's 12 months of side-by-side chart reading. And that includes 24 one-on-one Zoom sessions where we go over your unique chart together, side by side, and continue to moon your system and dive deeper into your unique energy to heal your deeper layers. So that is a really deep dive of the energy. And again, the guarantee stands for that as well. The cost of the platinum program is $3,444, or 12 monthly payments of $305, or 2 payments of $1,722, one now and one at 6 months. And again, the same guarantee would be in play if at 6 months you feel as though I've held up my part of the bargain, then you're going to pay me the balance of the money due, or your payments will continue for the full year. If you feel as though I have not held up my end of the bargain, we will meet. We will get you will get 3 one-on-one 1-hour Zoom sessions to go over your unique chart. And then if you still feel that I have not held up my end of the bargain, you will not have to pay that balance. But I have never had anybody take me up on that. There have been people who have asked for a little bit of extra help, but nobody has ever taken me up on that. So I don't think you're going to have a problem, but that option is there, where even if you decided it's not for you and you don't want to continue, then that's fine. I would just ask that you would just give me that feedback, and you would not have to pay the balance due. So I think it's a pretty sweet deal. It's lower than any of the programs that I've researched that are similar to this. And it's unheard of to have one-on-one coaching for that low of a cost. So hopefully one of those interests you. Again, I'm going to go into the bonuses, but one of the bonuses is the first 5 people to sign up get 20% off, and that 20% off can be on any one of these. So if you decided to sign up for the platinum program and you're one of the first 5, you would get 20% off of that higher cost, $3,444. $444. So it's a sweet deal. I do have limited spots available, just because I want to have the time to spend with each of you individually, especially in the signature and the platinum programs, because it's really important to me that you understand, and I want to be able to devote as much time as I can to you. So book your spot today to prevent missing out on that opportunity. And then this is having only 5 in each tier is going to really allow me to be laser focused on you and your energy. Because of that, that's why we keep it 5 spots. If you're not one of the first ones to sign up, you will be placed on a wait list. So that wait list can be about 6 weeks. But if that's the case, I will be in touch with you directly. And again, the reason is just that I want to have more time to spend with you. So I want to share with you some of the changes that our clients have experienced after working with me. I think it's really important that you see that there have been other people who have had success with this. So Karen B took what I said and applied it to her life. She asked questions and when she wasn't sure, and followed her energy as best she could. And she was able to turn her life around. She came out of a deep depression and says that she's happier now than she has ever been. Janice said that what she learned about herself resonated on every level, and it helped her to feel more confident and reconnected to herself in some ways. She, like me, got hooked, and she's now studying astrology as well. Her and I are actually in an astrology class together now. Kenneth had a reading that his wife bought for him, and he really didn't expect to get anything out of it, but he connected so deeply with his energy that he feels like his relationships have deepened, and he's gained a confidence that he didn't know he had before. And then Alicia had a reading and connected so deeply that she signed up for the empowerment program. So Alicia's been a star student. She's actually one of my helpers. And she's really doing the work and is able to maneuver life and make decisions in a much calmer, more relaxed manner. She's now teaching her husband what she's learning, and she's also seeing major shifts and changes in her life also. Her life has changed in a lot of ways. She left a long-time job where she worked for over 20 years. That job was weighing her down, so she left, moved out of state, and started over, and she is absolutely loving life. So join our program and you can meet Alicia for yourself. Everyone in this program is shocked by how much we can find out about ourselves just by looking at our own energy. So each week in our group, there's usually at least one epiphany that someone has. The program is about showing you how to read your energy. So not only will you be able to do this for you, but you'll also be able to read for others, which is going to help you to connect on a deeper level. And it's going to help you to improve your relationships as well. I have had some people that have gone on to be human design readers, because by the time you are done with this course, you're going to have the basic level knowledge of how to do readings for others. A reading can tell you everything that you want to know about your unique energy, but unless you understand how it works, it's not going to help you to make the changes you need in order to make the changes in your life. When you always do what you've always done, you always get what you've always gotten. You really can't just sit back and relax and wait for things to come to you. You really have to take action. It's those baby steps that we take towards aligned action. And understanding our energy helps us to make those decisions that lead us to not just taking action, but taking aligned action. So this is a one-of-a-kind program that's going to show you how your unique energy speaks to you and how to interact in the world using your energy the way that it was designed for you. So it's really a pretty exciting program. It's very unique as I created it myself based on the program, all of the energy programs that I went through, and I do continually add to it. And so for the full 12 or 18 months that you're in the program, you have access to all of that. If you do have any questions, just hold on to them because the Q&A is coming up. But I just want to show you what it looks like when you log on so that you don't get confused. And I just want to go over the next couple slides with you and walk you through the ordering process. So the first slide, when you click on the link to sign up, and I'm going to put the link in the chat in just a minute. This is the first slide that you're going to get, and this is where you enroll. So you're going to put your name, your email address, your phone number, and then your shipping information. And I do ask for you to fill out your shipping information. I'm not sure if this comes to me or not. I haven't tested it yet. But I do need your shipping information personally because everyone who joins who is in the US also gets a welcome package. And so that's pretty exciting. There's some pretty fun gifts in there. And then the next screen is where you're going to choose your option. You're going to choose your payment option. And just pay attention to the amounts because that's where you'll be able to choose your payment option. The empowerment program is just the program. The signature includes 6 months of coaching and the program, and the platinum includes 18 months of coaching and the program. I'm sorry, 18 months of the program and 12 months of coaching. And if you have any questions at all, you can either ask in today's Q&A or you can always Facebook message me. Or if you have more questions, you can certainly book a call and I'm happy to go through any questions you may have. I can also go through the program with you, kind of go through the highlights to help you to figure out if that's something that you'd be interested in. And then there's also a spot for coupons. And so if you look here, this big pink arrow, this is where you're going to enter your coupon code. So pay attention because I'm going to give you that coupon code. You're going to definitely want to try that. That's going to get you 20% off if you are one of the first 5 to sign up. All right, so I'm going to post the link in the chat. Let me do that now. Okay, so I just posted the link. Hopefully you can all see that, but let me know if not, post in the chat if not. And then I'm going to go into the Q&A, but remember that I'm going to give the first 5 people to join the community 20% off with the empowerment, with the code EMPOWERED. So the coupon code is EMPOWERED, EMPOWERED, for the first 5 people that sign up using that code. The 20% off does come off at the end of the payment. So if you finance the program for 12 months, it's going to cut off the last 2 payments and it's going to reduce the 10th payment. And I will notify those of you that have received the 20% off, just so that you know. So if this is something that you're interested in, go ahead and click the link in the chat and sign up. And remember that this is a first come, first serve basis for the signature and the platinum options. And once that's filled, you're going to be put on a wait list. And that wait list could be up to 6 weeks. So don't forget the coupon code. Again, the coupon code is EMPOWERED. And if you're one of the first 5 to sign up with that coupon code, you will get 20% off the second half of your payments. If you try the code and it doesn't work, it's likely because you weren't one of the first 5. But if you want me to double check that, you can certainly shoot me an email at hello@infinitesoulcommunity.com and I can send you the list of winners. And just remember that that 20% will be taken off of the second half of your payments if you choose payments. So now I'm going to open it up to any questions that you have or concerns that you might have about the system, about human design, about energy, about working with me, literally about anything. And so I'm going to give you some time to type out your questions. And what I'll do is I will go over some of the most common questions that I've seen, or that I've gotten, so that you have time to write your questions in the chat. And then once I'm done going through these, I'll see if there's any questions in the chat. If there is, I will answer them. And if not, we will move on. So one of the very common questions that I get about this journey is, am I too old to take this journey? So anyone can take this journey. You are never too old, too young, to anything. It doesn't matter what your background is, what you do, or what you're trying to free yourself from. As long as you do this with heartfelt intention and you follow the core principles of life and you stay true to yourself, it is possible. This is a spiritual process. And so you kind of have to be okay with spirituality, because by spirituality, I mean, you have to go within, you have to look inside yourself. You have to be able to look at your own beliefs and be able to break those down. Another question I get is, what exactly is this journey and how do I know if I will be successful? So this is a personal journey using your unique energy, which I use human design among a couple of other modalities, to find out who you really are on the inside, to find that identity that is hiding underneath your conditioning and the fear and the questions that you have. Why is it that we don't value ourselves, and how do we find our purpose? These are questions that we answer in the holistic energy empowerment system, and anyone can be successful on this journey as long as they have a desire to make changes in their life and that they're committed to themselves throughout the entire process. Another question that I get is, what if I can't find the answers that I'm looking for? So the answers to most of the questions that we have are actually inside of us. And we have the power to use them to guide us on our own healing journey and create a life that we love. It's all in our energy, and our energy tells a story of what we're here to learn. It's really, who are we and what are we here to learn? Our energy tells a story, and when you learn to understand it, you have the ability to master that story and learn to create exactly what you want when you know how to use it appropriately. It's not a one and done system. Once you learn the process, you're going to know how to do this throughout the rest of your life, throughout your entire life, and you can use it in every area of your life. It puts you in the driver's seat of your own life. It's the manifestation process and one of the most powerful tools that you will ever need in your journey of life. So not only are you going to be able to dig into your beliefs from when you were younger and figure out why you have those beliefs and how to break those apart, but once you heal all of that, you're then going to be able to use it to manifest the life that you want. Another question I get is, why should I buy from you? So I have put a ton of time, energy, and money into learning how to stop those repeat patterns of chaos and drama, and stop being taken advantage of, stop allowing everyone to walk all over me, and finally be able to take my power back. And I can save you a ton of time, energy, and money because I literally have put it all together in one kit so that you just have to plug and play. I've discovered the exact process that can help you to find your unique identity and learn to use it in a way in which it was designed specifically for you to take your power back and help you to create a life you love. And I want to save you time, energy, and money. And I know that I indulged in a ton of time, energy, and money just trying to find all these things. So I just want to give you one simple toolkit that's going to help you learn all of this. The program is 12 modules long. So technically you could get it done in 12 weeks, but it can be pretty heavy because it's digging into our inner childhood wounds. And so that's why I give you a full year. So really, if you did one module a month, it would take you a year to get through it. But I've put a lot of energy and time and love into this program, and I wanted to make it so that you literally could just plug and play. Like, I literally walk you through step by step. One of the other questions that I get is, how does this process help with manifesting? So every invention in the world has been created at least twice, like we talked about earlier. Once it's created in a person's mind, and then the second time is when we actually physically create it. So our mind or our imagination's role in life is to help us to spark creativity and create. And when we think thoughts that are disempowering, that's what gets magnetized back to us. And that's why it's important to really be sure that the thoughts that are running through our imagination are heart-centered and empowering. When you imagine your dream life, make sure you go big. Don't hold back, because the more you believe about yourself, the more you achieve. And that's been proven by people like Oprah Winfrey, Steve Jobs, Steve Harvey, Jim Carrey, Albert Einstein, Jay-Z, J.K. Rowling, and so many more. All people who have overcome adversity and created their dream lives from little to nothing. It is possible. All it takes is dedication and determination to find that self-love within. So I don't see any questions in the chat. So I'll just move on. But if you have any questions, feel free to post them now. As I told you at the beginning, I was going to give you some freebies at the end of the masterclass. So it's that time. First of all, the 20% off offer to the first 5 people who sign up with the coupon code empowered. And as I said, that 20% off is on any of the programs. So it would really be a good time to sign up for the one-on-one coaching, because the price is never going to be this low again. And 20% on top of that is a savings of almost $700. So that's quite a big savings. Use coupon code empowered. And if you're one of the first 5, you're going to get 20% off of the second half of your payments. Or if you pay in full, you'll receive that immediately. I also want to give you a copy of an ebook that's called The Beginner's Guide to Human Design. This is priceless in helping you understand the power of your own energy. And hopefully it's going to get you excited to see how it all connects. I think it's like 50 some odd pages, and it goes through all of the aspects of human design so that you can see all of the intricate details that you can learn about yourself. And then I also want to share with you a copy of the Understanding Your Energy Guide. And this is going to give you a glimpse into what your unique energy says about you. It's even going to tell you how to run your own unique human design so that you can see what your design looks like. And then you can compare it to this guidebook and see if any of it resonates. The guidebook goes through, I forget how many pages it is. It's at least 30 pages of what human design is and what each of the energy types are. And when you run your human design with the instructions that are given in this guidebook, you're going to get your energy type, your profile, and you're going to be able to see what those mean. So it's pretty exciting. And I honestly have not met anybody yet that has been in the program or that have really studied their energy and really looked into the intricate details of it that hasn't resonated with it. I have had people who have just kind of glanced through their design and said, oh, that doesn't make sense, because it's very detailed and it's very intricate. But once you get in the program, we'll teach you how to use it, although the guidebook is going to give you a lot of information on that as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the links to these free gifts in the chat, and you can certainly go and click on those and get those free gifts as long as you've stayed to the end. Don't forget the coupon code empowered. That's going to get the first 5 people access. Let me throw these in the chat for you right now. And if for any reason these do not work for you, I did test them and they did work, but if for any reason they do not work for you, please email me at hello@infinitesoulcommunity.com and I will make sure to get you the correct one. Like I said, I did test it, but I would just want to make sure. Just want to do this one other way just to be sure. All right, so I have thrown the links in the chat. Hopefully you can get those, and if any problems, make sure you email me. So I have had so much fun sharing my passion
I'm a
with you
different
today.
person than what I was, a couple years ago. It takes practice. It's
sorry.
not.
I have had so much fun sharing my passion with you today. So I want to thank you so much for being here. And each and every one of us has this power within us. It's our own unique energy. And I hope that I have inspired you in some way to really get to know yourself and become the creator of your life instead of standing by as life passes you by. Because I know that for all of us, that is the easy way out. But when we understand our energy and we know how to use it properly, it really helps us to get through the harder times. And it helps us to understand why these things have happened in our lives. So I would love to have you join us in the Holistic Energy Empowerment Group. And I would love to be a part of and support you on your journey by coaching you through your design, where you'll learn what each aspect of your energy means and how to put it together and what's going on in your life to understand what lessons you're here to learn and how to master your lessons. So if you still have questions, please book a call with me and we can review any of your questions and I can go over the system in detail for you. Thank you so much for being here with me today. And I hope to see you all inside of the program. I'm just going to replay this for you so that you can see what some of our members have been getting out of the group program. These clips are from our weekly group meeting so that you can see kind of what goes on in that. So thank you again. I hope you have a great week and I hope to see you inside the program. Thank you.
Something that just comes naturally, but it's being aware and being present and trying not to think too far ahead in the future or in the past and just really be present. And honestly, a lot of the tools that you learn along the way kind of teach you to like recognize when you've fallen off and how to get back on. And recognizing it is the biggest piece for me. Like just being able to recognize it. And I think the more you do it and the more you're on this journey, the easier it absolutely is.
I think without having this, I would be in really bad shape. I really feel this has helped me a lot.
Like every time I come to this class, I feel so much more positive and re-energized just from, going through the information. And I look forward to the meetings because just talking about things and the energy from, you girls also is like, you feel it when you're on the call, So
I agree. I look forward to it too. And I definitely think that the energy together really helps us to heal, helping us to learn who we are at that deeper level, to help us to go through these lessons and be able to look at the bright side of it. Because when you go through something horrible, you don't think there's a bright side to it. There's no way that there could be a bright side to that. But once you start on this journey, you realize that there have been little lessons that have built you up to be strong enough to get through that. And so there's a reason, you just don't know what.
There's certain things that happen in your life that put you on this journey,
Yeah.
at times and with different people. I think you've got a lot of great stuff in here and it's all super helpful and it's all stuff you can always look back on and help to like recharge.
You can step outside your comfort zone and heal those inner wounds.
And that's a big one for me. I've had it since I was little.
You got to focus on the now. You can't worry about the future because the worry takes away from the now.
Who's taking care of you?
So I hope that you will start taking care of you first, because in all honesty, when you take care of you first, there's more of you to give to more people. So you're really helping people more by taking care of you first.